Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Mohegan Sun, the Mohegan Sun Arena, as you're making your way between casino to casino. Hey, stop for a couple of moments. We're just about to put the fighters on the scale for tomorrow night's Bellator MMA return to Mohegan Sun Arena. For those of you joining us live, we welcome you. For those joining us on the live stream, we welcome you as well. One of our favorite homes, no doubt about it. We're here each and every year. Mohegan Sun and Mohegan Sun Arena just behind us, right outside the box office for today's weigh-ins, all brought to you by Miller Lite. We'll have the fighters on the scales here just momentarily. A couple of quick notes. Prelim card tomorrow night. It's a stacked prelim card, and we'll get the fights underway for tomorrow night's prelims a little before 7 p.m. So if you're coming early to see the first fights, make sure that you are inside Mohegan Sun Arena by about 6:30. Fights underway. The prelims, of course, kick us off. And then our normal start time, 9 p.m. Eastern time, 8 o'clock Central time. Miller Lite presents Bellator MMA from Mohegan Sun Arena, live and free on Spike. Tomorrow night's fight card, we will feature a co-main event, two of the best up-and-coming women in our flyweight division. Jessica Middleton fights the fighter from Honolulu, Hawaii. That's the Eliminator, Eliminate McFarland. And then in tomorrow night's main event, the fourth time is going to be an epic fight, no doubt about it. Very few things in life are guarantees. This is a virtual certainty. This will be a great fight, just like their first three meetings. The two-time champ, Daniel Straus, back after a long layoff due to injury from their third fight, puts his title on the line against the former featherweight world champion, Patricio Pitbull. Straus and Patricio Pitbull in tomorrow night's main event. 5-minute rounds for the Bellator featherweight world title in tomorrow night's main event. Tickets are still available if you don't have them. Box office right over here. If you're joining us in the live stream, Bellator.com has all of your details. Right over here, our sanctioning body, the commission. They followed us through Europe the last 2 weeks. Torino, they were our commission. Budapest, our commission. And now they're back home. The Department of Athletic Regulation from the Mohegan Tribe will be overseeing today's weigh-ins, tomorrow night's action. Chairman Kevin Brown, Chief of the Mohegan Tribe, Lynn Malerba, and supervising here right now, as always, Mr. Michael Mazzulli. Mike Murtha also supervising today. Thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate it. In just a couple of moments, we'll put the fighters on the scale. Mercedes Tyrell, just to my left on stage, as always, the lovely lady from Bellator MMA, our Bellator girl. I'm Michael Williams, cage announcer, and it is always a great honor to introduce this guy. He'll put the fighters on the scale. Please welcome one half of the broadcast team live in. This is Jimmy Smith.
Thanks so much. We start off with our preliminary fights. Of course, check us out on Spike.com. We start out in the men's flyweight division, 125 pounds. Joshua Ricci versus Billy Geovanny. First to scale, fighting out of Whitesboro, New York. Please welcome Joshua Ricci. Record of 3-0, 2 wins by submission. $126 for Joshua Ricci. And his opponent fighting out of Bellingham, Massachusetts. Please welcome Billy Geovanny. Record of 9-5, 3 wins by knockout, 4 by submission. $124.75 for Billy Geovanny. They'll kick it off for us. The flyweights, 125, Joshua Ricci versus Billy Geovanny. Next up, the heavyweights, 265 pounds. It's Bronco Busic versus Tyrell Fortune. First to scale, fighting out of Steubenville, Ohio. Please welcome Bronco Busic. Making his pro debut, he stands 6'1", 25 years old. 220 for Bronco Busic. And his opponent fighting out of Phoenix, Arizona. Please welcome Tyrell Fortune. Undefeated at 2-0, both of those wins by knockout. $244.5 for Tyrell Fortune. Let's give it up for the big boys. Bronco Busic versus Tyrell Fortune. Next up, the middleweights, 185 pounds. It's David Mandel versus Ed Ruth, first to scale, fighting out of Clearwater, Florida. Please welcome David Mandel. Record of 6-2, 2 wins by knockout, 1 by submission. $184.25 for David Mandel. His opponent fighting out of Fresno, California. Please welcome Ed Ruth. Record of 2-0, both of his wins by knockout. $185.5 for Ed Ruth. The middleweights, David Mandel versus Ed Ruth. Give him a hand. Next fight, a catchweight, 195 pounds. It's Jordan Young versus Tim Caron, first to scale. Fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida. Please welcome Jordan Young. Record of 6-0, 4 wins by submission. $195 on the dot for Jordan Young. And his opponent fighting out of Manchester, New Hampshire. Please welcome Tim Caron. Also undefeated, also 6-0, 4 wins by knockout, 2 by submission. $195 for Tim Caron. 12 wins, no losses between these two fighters. Jordan Young versus Tim Caron. Next up, the featherweights, 145 pounds. It's Thomas English versus Blair Tuchman, first to scale, fighting out of Dix Hills, New York. Please welcome Thomas English. $146 on the dot for Thomas English. And his opponent out of North Haven, Connecticut, please welcome Blair Tuchman. Record of 9-6, 3 wins by submission. $146 for Blair Tuchman. Let's give it up for the featherweights, Thomas English versus Blair Tuchman, ladies and gentlemen. Another fight in the featherweight division, 145 pounds. It's Shane Manley versus Chris Foster, first to scale, fighting out of Syracuse, New York. Please welcome Shane Manley. Record of 3-2 as a pro, 1 win by submission. 146 on the dot for Shane Manley. And his opponent fighting out of Meriden, Connecticut. Please welcome Chris Foster. Record of 10-5, 5 wins by knockout. $145 for Chris Foster. The featherweight's 145. It's Shane Manley versus Chris Foster. Give it up for him. Next up, the flyweights, 125 pounds. It's John Lopez versus Remo Cardarelli. First to the scale, fighting out of Hartford, Connecticut. Please welcome John Lopez. Record of 6-3, 4 wins by submission. 125.5 for John Lopez. And his opponent, fighting out of Uxbridge, Massachusetts, please welcome Remo Cardarelli. Record of 6-5, 4 wins by submission. $124 for Remo Cardarelli. The flyweights, 125, John Lopez versus Remo Cardarelli, ladies and gentlemen. Next fight, a catchweight, 165 pounds. It's Camron Lee versus Sam Watford. First to scale, fighting out of Ludlow, Massachusetts. Please welcome Camron Lee. Record of 2-2, 1 win by knockout, 1 by submission. $164.5 for Camron Lee. And his opponent out of New Haven, Connecticut, please welcome Sam Watford. $164 for Sam Watford. Let's give it up for these catchweight fighters. Camron Lee versus Sam Watford. Next up, catchweight, 140 pounds. Regivaldo Carvalho versus Jay Perrin. First to scale, fighting out of Danbury, Connecticut. Please welcome Regivaldo Carvalho. Record of 3-2, 2 wins by knockout, 1 by submission. $149.75 for Regivaldo Carvalho. And his opponent, fighting out of Lowell, Massachusetts, please welcome Jay Perrin. Record of 3-2, 2 of those wins by knockout. $140 on the dot for Jay Perrin. Regivaldo Carvalho versus Jay Perrin, ladies and gentlemen. Next up, a catchweight, 150 pounds. It's Mack Kelleher versus Donna Shamus. First to the scale, fighting out of Selden, New York. Please welcome Mack Kelleher. $149.75 for Mack Kelleher. And his opponent, fighting out of Easton, Massachusetts, please welcome Don Shamus. Record of 1-1. That one win by submission. $149.5 for Don Shamus. Catchweight 150, it's Mack Kelleher versus Don Shamus. In our last fight, catchweight 165 pounds, it's Nick Alley versus Casti. First to the scale out of Hooksett, New Hampshire. Please welcome Nick Alley. Record of 1-0, that one win by submission. $167 for Nick Alley. And his opponent fighting out of Greenwich, Connecticut. Please welcome Jimmu. Making him pro debut. He stands 6 foot, 25 years old. 165 pounds for Jimmu. Our final preliminary fight, it's Nick Alley versus Jimmu. On to the televised portion of our card. Of course, check us out on Spike. We start off in the featherweight division, 145 pounds. It's Dominic Masada versus A.J. McKee. First to scale, fighting out of Lower Borough, Pennsylvania. Please welcome Dominic Masada. A record of 11-1, 1 win by knockout, 8 by submission. $146 for Dominic Masada. You told us coming up, building that record of 11-1, it was hard to find quality opponents, quality guys. You're facing a quality guy tomorrow night on Spike TV. How does that opportunity feel, man?
You know, I feel like I'm the best kept secret in MMA right now. But after Friday night, that secret's going to be out. I'm going to make a statement. I'm going to finish the fight.
And his opponent fighting out of Long Beach, California. Please welcome A.J. McKee. Undefeated at 7-0, 3 wins by knockout, 2 by submission. $146 for A.J. McKee. A.J., I got one question. What's your prediction for this fight?
You want to know how I see this fight? I see this fight going like this. So, tune in. It's going to be some fireworks, baby. Let's get it.
Two guys who promised to kick it off right. Dominic Masada versus A.J. McKee. Next up at catchweight, 165 pounds, it's Ryan Quinn versus Syed Awad. First to scale, fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida. Please welcome Ryan Quinn. Record of 13-6-1, 2 wins by knockout, 4 by submission. $164.5 for Ryan Quinn. Ryan, you said Syed Awad is the kind of guy who stands in front of you. You don't have to find him. You know exactly where he is. You're excited about that kind of fight. Why? Tell the fans.
Because I wasn't built for sprints, so now we get to stand and bang, no running around. I'm very happy Bellator has finally given me this opportunity, and now I'm going to take the best of it on Spike TV tomorrow.
And his opponent fighting out of San Bernardino, California. Please welcome Syed Awad. Record of 19-9, 8 wins by knockout, 7 by submission. 164.5 for Syed Awad. Syed, the last time you fought here, you said it was stepping into hostile territory. You weren't used to that. You'll be doing the same thing against a local fighter this time. That's the kind of war you like, though, right?
Yeah, it's all good, man. It just fuels me to fight better. You know, when I leave here, they're going to boo me when I walk in. They're going to cheer me when I leave. So let's do this.
Two exciting fighters going to slug it out. Ryan Quinn versus Syed Awad. Next up, a women's flyweight fight, 125 pounds. It's Jessica Middleton versus Alimale McFarland. First to scale, fighting out of Wichita, Kansas. Please welcome Jessica Middleton. Undefeated at 2-0. $126 on the dot for Jessica Middleton. From making your Bellator debut to taking on what a lot of people think is the #1 fighter in your division, what do you think of this opportunity tomorrow night?
I think it's a great one. I'm going to let my hands do the talking, and I'm just thankful that Bellator gave me this opportunity. I mean, Alima is one of the best, and you got to beat the best to be the best.
Give her a hand. That was awesome. And her opponent fighting out of Honolulu, Hawaii, please welcome Alimale McFarland. Undefeated at 5-0, 1 win by knockout, 2 by submission. $126 for Alimale McFarland. Okay. You know what it's like to be where Jessica Middleton is, an unknown trying to make your name. Now you're the one with the target on. How does it change things? Does it change things at all, or is it just another fight?
I think it changes things. I actually preferred being not in the spotlight because there was kind of no pressure on me.
But now,
lots of pressure.
Let's see how you deal with it. You have a tough fight in front of you. Jessica Middleton versus Alimale McFarland, ladies and gentlemen. And our main event for the Featherweight World Championship, 145 pounds, the champion, Daniel Straus, versus a challenger, Patricio Pitbull, first to the scale from Natal, Brazil. Please welcome the former champion, Patricio Pitbull. Record of 25-4, 9 wins by knockout, 10 by submission. $144 for Patricio Pitbull. Patricio, you're a new father. You said what's changed since last time? I have more motivation to bring that belt home to my son. What does that mean for the champ tomorrow night?
Patrício, você é pai recente agora. Você disse que tem uma motivação maior que é trazer o cinturão de volta para o seu filho. O que isso significa para a luta?
It's going to be a gift for my son.
That's it. It's a gift for his son. He's got to fight to get it. The man he has to beat, the champion, fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida. Please welcome Daniel Straus. A record of 24-6, 4 wins by knockout, 6 by submission. $145 on the dot for Daniel Straus. Daniel, you've already fought Pitbull 3 times. How do you make sure your title defense tomorrow night is the last time you have to face him?
Hey, just stay home, man. I keep working. I've been working for a long time, and it's gonna stay here.
This is our championship fight. If you haven't seen him before, don't miss it. Patricio Pitbull versus Daniel Straus, ladies and gentlemen. Both have held the belt. Only one's going to hold it after tomorrow night. Give him a hand and be there. Thank you so much. Shows here are always great because of you, the fans. Be there tomorrow night.
Jimmy Smith, thank you very much. The legend himself, Mr. Hoyce Gracie. Thank you, sir. Hey, for those that joined us here live, we thank you as well. For those that live stream, we thank you. Ticket information for you is at Bellator.com. If you're here live, ticket information right over here, Mohegan Sun Arena box office. First fights tomorrow night just before 7 p.m., and we'll go live and free. As always, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Spike. Brought to you by Miller Lite. The title fight is on. The main card is weighed in. We are set to go. We'll see you tomorrow night here at Mohegan Sun and live and free on Spike.